finding myself at a loss for words. And the funny thing is, it's okay. The last thing I need is to be heard, but to hear what you would say. Word of God, speak. Would you pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know that you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holiness. Word of God, speak. Finding myself in the midst of you, beyond the music.
Hi everybody, and welcome back for our third book of the Bible, Leviticus. Now, Leviticus is the book of laws. Not the moral laws of Exodus, but the ceremonial laws describing offerings to God, dietary restrictions for the time, and purification rites. Let's back up a little bit. The word Leviticus comes from Levites, which refers to a person who belongs to the tribe of Levi. Now, Aaron's family, who was Moses' brother, well, they were ordained as Israel's formal priesthood. They were the special servants of the Lord at the sacred tent. Now, if you've read through if you read through Exodus, then you would have read about the tabernacle and the specifications for building the tents and things like that. You have to go back and read that if you haven't read it, if you don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the Levites were the servants of the Lord at the sacred tent. Now, a lot of this book deals with the responsibilities of the priests and the other Levites. But it also talks about the laws for what animals you can eat, which ones you can use for clothes, and how to care for the poor. It talks about punishment for being disobedient, but it also talks about the promises made for those who are obedient. This book talks about feasts, and this book talks about offerings. Now, there are 5 different offerings that you will learn about when you read the book of Leviticus. You will learn about burnt offerings, grain, fellowship, the sin offering, and the guilt offering. And then there are 10 feasts that you will read about in the book of Leviticus. The 10 feasts are the Sabbath, the Passover, unleavened bread, first fruit, weeks or Pentecost, trumpets, Day of Atonement, the tabernacle, the Sabbath year, and the year of Jubilee. Now, if you want to know details about those things, you got to read the book, which is kind of the point of all this. Go back and read the book. Also, there are some songs that are made based off a certain point, like the year Jubilee. I've heard that in songs that we sing at our church and things like that. So go back and read about those things. It's very interesting. Some quotes from the book of Leviticus. Let's see. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that you should not be their slaves. I have broken the bars of the yoke and made you walk erect. He has freed them from the slavery that they were in at that time. Another quote is, I am the Lord your God. Consecrate yourselves therefore and be holy as I am holy. Another quote, for the life of the flesh is in the blood. It is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. Now, we talk about sacrifices and a lot of the blood sacrifices in Leviticus. Well, that's being contrasted. That's being contrasted with Jesus' death. If you fast forward and look at Hebrews 7, Hebrews chapter 7, verse 27, it says, he has no need like those high priests to offer daily sacrifices, because the high priests will daily sacrifice for their own sins and for the sins of the people. But since he did this once for all, when he offered up himself. Now, when I read this, I had to keep going. So read on to 28 because it's interesting too. But I wanted to leave something for you guys to read. And I don't want to be reading everything to you. So, anywho, that is my take on the kind of highlights from the book of Leviticus in a nutshell. Go back and read it. If you have any questions, post them below. And I will see you guys next week when we jump into the fourth book for a quick synopsis of some of the things that you will find in that book. God bless.